A very good evening to all the members present in the meet. First of all, I would like to thank organizers for inviting me on the talk of low-cost nano bioadsorbent for removal of hexavalent chromium contaminated effluent discharge from leather industries. Myself, Dr. Zeenat Arif, Assistant Professor in HBTU Kanpur. So before proceeding to the keywords of the title, everywhere nowadays we are listening and hearing a term sustainability, and everyone is talking about sustainability. Why sustainability is important? It is because nowadays the development in urbanization, industrialization, advancement has created an imbalance on Earth. As a result, it has created a threat to our future, to our younger generation, to our new generations. So, to minimize, to eliminate, to reduce this threat, concept of sustainability came into the picture. So, sustainability basically means meeting the needs of present generation without compromising the needs of future generation, which can be achieved through green chemistry. So, green chemistry is basically a development and improvement of process and products to reduce or eliminate the production and use of harmful substances. So, as I've already talked about in my introduction slide, development has created an imbalance in environment, and in which this environment is basically composed of air, water, and land. And nowadays, water is highly contaminated with because of its multiple uses, discharge from industrial, from households, and various other water-related activities. So, these industries are discharging different types of pollutants. Among these, heavy metals are one of the contaminants which are causing threat to the human life, aquatic life. And from different heavy materials, chromium is one such chromium, hexavalent chromium is one such metal which is very much toxic to the people life, to the aquatic life, to the animal life. The major source of these hexavalent chromium is leather tanning from the electroplating industry, from paint making, and from chrome productions. So, how to minimize this contamination of water from hexavalent chromium? There is one solution towards it. We can concentrate to this hexavalent chromium, and at the same time, after concentrating, we have to, if by any means we can convert it to a less toxic form, that is trivalent form of chromium. So, there are different technologies available, but out of as shown in the picture here, but out of these technologies, adsorption is widely considered based on the parameters which are listed over here, and they based on the cost effectiveness, based on the availability, environmental friendly, the indexicity of adsorption is very much higher compared to other techniques. But now the adsorption, there are different types of adsorbent materials available. Low cost adsorbents are there, nano adsorbents are also there, bioabsorbents are also available. Out of these three different adsorbents, I am focusing more on the nano adsorbents because it has advantages over other two adsorbents. So what are nano adsorbents? Nano adsorbents are basically adsorbents in which one or the more element is in nano form. And since it is in nano form, so obviously its high surface to volume ratio will create additional impact to the adsorbent material and will enhance the property of materials as listed over here. It will reduce the fouling, it will reduce the performance, recoverability, and all these things. So now I am going to discuss. I have synthesized an nanoadsorbent from the biomass derived AWML-TiO2 nanobioadsorbent. So for this, I have first synthesized a TiO2 nanoparticle. Let us first discuss how the TiO2 nanoparticle is synthesized. So for this, a extract of Chesnus Kazan, and a Chesnus Kazan leaf, which is nothing but commonly in India, it is a leaf of arhar dal. So extract is taken, it is mixed to a TTIP solution, then it is mixed for a period of 8 hours at ambient temperature, centrifuged, dried, and calcined at 500 degrees centigrade, we get a TiO2 nanoparticles. And for AWML, which is acid-treated watermelon leaf, which is a leaf, watermelon leaves. After water ripening of fruits, this watermelon leaf is generated in a huge quantity and it has no economical value. So it can be used as adsorbent material. So to prepare AWML, these leaves are collected, washed, dried. It is treated with acid H2SO4, then again washed and dried at 70 degrees Celsius, and this we get a AW powder of AWML. When this TiO2 nanoparticle is mixed with AWML, we get a nanoadsorbent of AWML TiO2 nanoadsorbent. So for the characterization, since I have taken the Cazeneu's design used for the synthesis of TiO2 nanoparticle, it was observed through FTIR that three distinct peaks were observed. These peaks were corresponds to phenolic groups, proteins, and polyphenols, which are basically the active agents involved in the biosynthesis of TiO2 nanoparticles. And for AWML FTIR characterization was done, different peaks were observed at different wave numbers, which corresponds to different functional groups which are basically responsible for adsorption process. So now to ensure that the particle formed is TiO2 or not, XRD analysis is conducted, carried out, and different peaks were obtained at two theta values of 25, 37, 48.1, 54, and 62.99 daily. When it was compared with the standard form of JCPDS card number 731764, it resembles to the peaks of latest phase of TiO2 nanoparticle, and the particle size formed using a Debye-Scherrer equation, it was calculated around 48 nanometer. Uh, Surface morphology was also studied for the particle, TiO2 nanoparticle. So figure A and B shows the FESM and EDAX image of TiO2 nanoparticle, which depicts a spherical shape with slightly agglomerated into irregular structure. And EDAX clearly shows the spectra of Ti and O, which confirms that TiO2 is formed. Figure C shows FESM images of nanoadsorbent, which depicts a quite rough with some pores visible, which are responsible for adsorption of pollutants. No doubt, surface area and pore volume is one of the important parameter for the absorption, for the better performance of adsorbent material. So a BT analysis is carried out, and through BET analysis, it was observed that value of surface area and pore volume for our nanoadsorbent, which is composed of TiO2, is very much higher than the adsorbent material, which is basically due to the presence of TiO2 nanoparticle, as I've already mentioned in the introduction to nanoadsorbent. These nanomaterials have high surface area to volume ratio. So before coming to understand the performance of prepared nanoadsorbent for removal of chromium, hexavalent chromium, let us first understand the mechanism behind it. So when AWML is mixed with TiO2 nanoparticle in a definite proportion and it is kept under sunlight, so two mechanisms are there for removing and reducing hexavalent chromium to trivalent chromium. That is, electrostatic interaction is there, which is due to the presence of material, adsorbent material, and due to the TiO2 nanoparticle. Both are having due to protonation, they exhibit different charges on their surfaces. And when the chromium, hexavalent chromium get adsorbed on the surfaces, when it is kept under the sunlight, due to presence of TiO2 nanoparticle, which shows a photocatalytic activity, this hexavalent chromium is getting converted to trivalent chromium because of generation of electron hole pair. Now the performance was studied using a batch experiment. Sample of chromium was prepared, into which adsorbent was added, and then DPC was added, and then concentration of chromium was analyzed using UV spectrophotometer at wavelength of 544 nanometer. So two different spectra, figure A and B shows UV spectra of chromium concentration at different time interval. And from here, it can be seen that decreasing intensity in figure B was very much higher than A. So this figure B is basically in the presence of nanoadsorbent, while A is of only adsorbent material. So different parameters, effect of parameters was studied. Figure A shows the effect of pH. B shows effect of adsorbent dosage. C is effect of time. D is effect of adsorbent dosage. So it was concluded from here that our nanoadsorbent was giving a better result at a lower pH, and the optimized parameter at which a best result was obtained is pH of 3, adsorbent dosage was around 40 mg, time was around 6.51, and adsorbent dosage was 5 ppm. So kinetics and isotherm study was also carried out. Pseudo first order and pseudo second order was conducted, and it was observed that our synthesized material was giving a better result in pseudo second order, because R square value is more R square value for pseudo second order is more than pseudo first order. So this order was comprehensive model than first order model. Isotherm studies was also conducted, like linear isotherm, fungicide isotherm, and Tenkin isotherm. And from the results we got, the R square value was very much higher for R square value was higher for linear, which suggests that this model giving a best fitting to our system. Also, the a separation factor RL value characteristics of a languid isotherm is calculated, which is greater than 1 in languid isotherm, which simply implies that adsorption is favorable in our case. So, with this, I would like to conclude my work into few points. So, here the concept of circular economy and sustainable development. This present study focuses on the usage of natural-based nano-adsorbent to eliminate hexavalent and chromium. XRD analysis confirms the particle TiO2 nanoparticle from Chesnes Kazan extract. From FTIR, different organic groups were observed for AWML, which shows there are different organic groups responsible for adsorption. Maximum adsorption efficiency was obviously obtained for a nanoadsorbent. And the last one is Langmuir model and pseudo second order model best to describe the adsorption behavior and kinetics, giving a goodness of fit value. So these are the references which I have gone through for presenting this slide. Thank you.